morning, my fellow Chibits. I have a serious question I need to ask. Before I even dive into this episode, I need to ask this. So, I know next week is when the Shogun Assassination Arc finally starts for the anime. Now, as I already said, I want to do live reactions to this upcoming arc. The thing is like, I don't know which episodes I should live react to. So I want to ask, I'm asking the question now. Does next week's episode, is it something I need to live react to? Because I'm asking that question now, because the reason for this, because since I'm an anime only, I have no idea what to expect, and so I'm asking all of you, is next week's episode, does it need like a live reaction? Please let me know in the comments below, because I'm curious about that, because supposedly the comedy will end next week. Okay, so now that I've already stated that, let's move into the episode. So I feel like this episode of Gintama is the perfect example of how good Gintama can be, and why I love the series so much. See, the first half of the episode is comedy. The second half of the episode is a serious tone that you would not have expected from watching the first half of the episode. And it's almost unbelievable how this series, Gintama, and also how Sunrise animated this, it's almost unbelievable how the tone shift was done and how amazing it was displayed. Like, the serious moments of this episode, like the second half, I feel like was better than some of the greatest moments in Gintama. Like, this was definitely a lot better than normal serious episodes or episodic episodes of Gintama. It really struck at you, and I will never look at vending machines the same way after watching this episode. It was so sad. I mean, what's with Tama episodes always having like a sad conclusion or something very sad about them? I've noticed that. Tama always has sad-ass episodes, and we rarely do get Tama episodes, which is kind of saddening, because she's personally one of my favorite female characters in Gintama, and seeing how she had this episode, I'm quite happy. I mean, this episode actually had a lot of development for Tama to really dive into that. I mean, when you saw her at the end of this episode and she was crying, it goes to show you how much more human she has become since the start of Gintama. I remember when she was introduced in the early stages, and she was like a robot, but now you look at her now with the way she acts around Gintoki, and the way she acts around other people, she acts more human, which is beautiful for her character. Now, I will say this, however, that dark, serious atmosphere of this episode, if the Shogun Assassination Arc can capture that atmosphere along with keeping some form of comedy, I'm going to tell you right now, this upcoming arc is probably going to just make me fucking fangasm and my head's going to explode. If it really is 1,000 times better than what this episode did. So let's get into the comedy. So the comedy first half, okay, I laughed so hard. Why I laughed was because of the Dragon Quest references. I'm assuming it was Dragon Quest, because Gintama loves referencing Dragon Quest. So, that RPG that we saw, when the swords came in, the Holy Sword, and then you had this Demon Sword come in, and they were like swords, legendary swords that are passed down, and you had it to where the hero comes in, it's like, hey, I want you to help me with this sword, I want you to reforge it, and it was stuck in a fucking boulder, and I'm like, oh my god, the sword has not even acknowledged this dude. He's like, I'm the hero, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, Shibachi's reactions to everything was just on point in this episode. But what really got me was that one scene where you see the corpse just hanging on to the fucking cursed sword. And then, like, I'm looking at this, like, you see a bunch of these swords just laid out on the floor. And then, as you're looking for these different swords, you just see a body, like a skeleton body with some armor just holding this fucking sword. And I'm like, what in the fuck? And then we kind of find out it's like a cursed blade, and it gets, you know, some backstory on it. And so Gintoki decides to grab it up by the fucking legs and start shooting. Dude, that's savage as fuck, dude. That is savage. Like, what the fuck? Gintoki, chill. Like, yeah, I need to chill. My god, dude. You're using this dude as a hilt. He was using a fucking body as a hilt. And then the animation, when you just saw Gintoki slapping the sword, like the sword falls out of the skeleton's hands, and he's just beating. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That shit was just too good. When you see, I gotta calm down. I gotta calm down. That was just too good. Like, that scene with the skeleton. What the fuck? What a great way. Like, it was only 3 minutes in. It was only 3 minutes into this episode that happened. I'm like, whoa, that's what we're getting with this episode. Morbid comedy. Like, some really morbid comedy going on. So I'm like, yeah, standard Gintama. So yeah, I mean, this episode of Gintama, pretty damn entertaining. I had a lot of fun with it. First half, just really good laughs, classic Gintama. Second half of the episode, very serious moments that showcases character development for Tama. So take it how you leave it with that second half. So it seems like the comedy's gonna end. We're finally diving headfirst into the Shogun Assassination Arc next week. And please let me know in the comments below if I do need to live react to the next week's episode. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibit.